Hello, everybody. I am so excited because today I am joined by the absolutely phenomenal Marie Diamond. Now, if you don't know Marie, you've been missing out. She is not only the secret behind the secret, she is the forward of our book, The Pay It Forward, Notes to My Younger Self. And she also has an amazing book coming out herself called Transform Your Life. So we're going to be talking about that today. So welcome, Marie. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much, Kezia. And I'm so excited to be with all the people that are going to watch this video.
Well, I wanted to start by saying a little bit about the book, because obviously you wrote the foreword for our book. And in the book, we share some pivotal moments in our lives that have really changed the trajectory of where our life is heading. And I know when you wrote the foreword, you focused on one of your pivotal life moments. Could you tell us a little bit about it and why it had such an important impact on your life?
Well, I was 15 when I actually was in an accident but with a truck, and I was declared dead. So I had, they thought I had passed on, and they revived me after insisting, after my mother insisted for me to be revived. And they already had given up on me. And so I went and had a near-death experience. And when I went to the other side, I really clearly got the message that I was here to enlighten more than 500 million people. So when I woke up, of course, I had no idea how to start doing that, right? I was a teenager. But I thought, like, well, I could be nicer to people, more kinder to people. I tried to see if I could contribute to the community in the youth movement and school. So in any way I could contribute. But what I did do is every day I would ask, how can I, or show me the way to enlighten more than 500 million people? So for many years, I had no idea what the answer would be for that. But I had this intention of contribution, right? And so I know that if I would not have really got this intention for so long, and of course I started doing, here and there some, volunteer work and helping out with many possibilities. But to really reach millions of people, it only really happened when I was already, when I was 38, when I was going to America, and I, landed this spot in The Secret. That's actually when the millions opened really up. And I was already thousands before, but millions. That was like really interesting. And I had a little bit of that experience when I was 18. I had my first book out, actually. I wrote a poetry book with poems. And I was actually on stage for a few thousands of people reading my poetry. That was actually about God. It was very spiritual, very religious poetry. And that's a moment when I really felt like, feeling like a pen drop, like in the public. And I was like, oh, we're making a difference here, right? And then so many people came afterwards to me. Of course, this is before internet, before, whatever. But that was like a moment I thought like, oh, I make a difference here on an energetic level, right? But to really reach the millions, that's when The Secret came really out. So, but I know if I would not have had the intention for it since I was 15 and just started contributing in small ways, not even in the thousands, but just one person at a time, or in my community volunteering, or, in perhaps small ways, but taking action as much as I could. Each time there was a possibility, an opportunity to take action, to make a difference in people's life, I did that. And I think that's what led me ultimately to reach millions of people.
And let's be honest, as a woman of contribution, that was one of the reasons that we chose you to be in the book, because you do contribute so generously to absolutely everybody. For those that maybe don't necessarily know what it is that you do, can you explain a little bit more about what Feng Shui is and how you came to be a Feng Shui master?
Well, for me, as a child already, I had the opportunity to see energy. And so I could see people's auras and chakras, and I could see the energy of the houses. And I could see how people were happy or not happy, or how they would react to people's conversations or people's actions towards each other. I could see all this, and I was just watching as a child, very much into all of that. And so for me, I was always looking for, what can I do to make people happier? I mean, that was like, as a child, I just wanted people to be more happy, right? And so when I was 7, I had a spiritual mentor, and he started sharing with me some visualization techniques, meditation techniques that I kept practicing. And after I was 15, that went even, in a more intense level. I started really meditating every day for an hour. Start really working with energy. And so, but also I'm a very analytical child. So I was very much into mathematics, and then I became a lawyer because I love structure and I love strategy, and I love, finding solutions when there are problems to somebody's life. And I also did a minor in psychology and in criminology. And so I just wanted to understand people. That was like one of my major things, because how can I help people and contribute if I don't understand the behavior of people, right? The behavior of businesses. And so when I started really, after 5 years practicing as a lawyer, when I started working as a consultant towards energy, I was like teaching people meditation, working with the energy of their thoughts and their feelings. And I was speaking already. I was contributing. I saw like 3,000 people a month. Within 6 months, I was, public. So there was like right away quite a lot of, change I could make. But I saw also that they were missing out on something, and it was hard for people to change their mindset. It was very hard for people to change their emotional behavior. And so I went actually back to where it changed for me. So when I was 15, after that accident, I started understanding, talking to my mentor, I asked him, what did I do wrong? What my mind was already so positive. I mean, it really was. I mean, I was not a typical teenager, to be honest. I was already trying to be kind and to be positive. And he said, well, you just had bad feng shui. And that's where I started understanding that there is a Chinese art form called feng shui that taps into how the energy of an environment influences the mindset, the feelings people have and their actions. So I started applying that when I was, really 15, the first steps. And then I started studying, really in the East, understanding all the steps to practice this. And I was one of the first 100 Western consultants actually in feng shui. Wow. And so I started adding that to my energy work for people, and telling them, how to change their mindset by also using their environment. And I saw that it was sometimes much faster, to change their mindset if their home was also different. When they were more positive, if their home was different colors. And it was like effortless. It was easy. And you know how important it is to be positive every day, but it's quite right? Quite intense. And so when I started seeing how changing something in their environment changed their brain waves, I could really see how the brain wave changed, how the body language changed, how more people were relaxed when they were sitting in different positions. That was just such an aha moment. And I could see their chakras change and their aura field change and their, the whole life start changing easy, fast, and effortless. And so for me, that is where I started really connecting in with that a little bit more. But of course, for me, my work is still about enlightenment. It's still about meditation. It's still about the energy of changing for people through my mentoring and my coaching and my seminars. But I always bring in feng shui, and sometimes, of course, I focus on feng shui for consultants, because it doesn't only change one person, it changes a family, it changes a company. And I had the privilege already to sometimes work on national levels for certain countries, to work with the leaders, to work with governmental buildings, and so to really even see the change it made in countries. So it has been a really interesting journey, and it also brought me to The Secret to talk about the law of attraction. For me, the environment is 1/3 of the law of attraction.
And I mean, for me, The Secret was the very start of my self-development journey. As I know it is for many people that have come in, it's kind of been a starting point that they've slowly moved on from, but it's really kind of given them that enlightenment that they need. So I'm sure that you've probably hit well over the 500 million that your mission was to hit in the first place. But what many people don't know is that you were the secret behind the secret. Can you explain a little bit more about how that worked?
Yeah. Well, Rhonda Byrne started with this amazing movie, The Secret, and so she wanted to really make it public, and it was normally used for Channel 9 in Australia, but the channel, when they saw the movie, didn't want to air it. So she was like, she had put all, her finances in it, and then the channel did not accept it. It was a little bit too woo-woo for them, apparently. So what happened was that she started looking for alternatives, and that was like at that moment, like the first time you could rent movies through the internet. But there was no money for marketing, to be honest. So it was like, how do we start doing this? And she was like at the edge, financially, also emotionally. She did not know how to do it because she just moved to America. And I was the closest of the teachers. I was living in Malibu at that time, so I was like literally a few miles away from her. And so I said to her, let me come and check in. And so she was sitting the wrong direction. She had all dead plants around her. She was not sleeping in the right direction. The DVD was not out in a very strategic place. So we changed some things around, and we even put a magazine of Oprah in her relationship direction. And then I said to her, how do you want people to do this? How do you want people to work with The Secret? And she said, well, I want people to get it, and then I want them to buy right away 10 more and start sharing it with people. And I said, well, in that case, you need to start sharing yourself. So she got like all the DVDs she had. She sent them to all the teachers, as I suggested to her, and asked them to share it. So we went on the streets in LA, and we started sharing the DVD to the people on the street. And so for about a few weeks, nothing really happened. And then suddenly people start buying more DVDs because I've been watching it, and so they wanted more of that. And then within like a few months, the company from Oprah called and asked if they, could, be interested in that. But the book was not out yet, and so they were a little bit hesitating still. And then I said to her, I'm going to find a publisher for you. So within 3 weeks, a publishing company called me that said, we are in trouble financially. And they said, with the last money, please, get Marie in to the company. So I went in, changed everything around. And I said, before we go, I would like to give you this DVD. I think you could make a book out. And so they did that. So they got out of the red. They made millions, Rhonda made millions. Yeah. And then the book, was also shown at Oprah. And that's actually how people call me the secret behind the secret, because almost half of the people in the movie, the publisher, the PR person, all these people were actually advised by me. So I was like the mentor behind and telling them what to do, like just what I received, what was the right thing for them. So that's why people call me the secret behind the secret.
Yeah, and I can totally understand that, and especially when you were kind of talking about moving things around in Rhonda's house to make sure that, you know, from a feng shui perspective, that everything was as it's meant to be. And funny enough, this evening, just before we started, you said, well, what's that picture behind me? And I was like, oh, well, it's just a picture of the sea. And you were just like, no, 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 no. So can you just explain to people why you wouldn't have a picture of the sea behind you
Yeah.
when you're sat doing your work?
Well, the thing is, when water is something you want to look at, yeah, because it brings life. So the water comes towards you, right?
Mm.
It brings life force, and it gives you openness. You can see, you know, like I have a view on the Mediterranean. So when I come out of my house, so I see the sea. Having the sea behind you, it actually takes away money. So it takes away support, because it's like, if you don't see the water come behind you, let's say there's huge waves, you could be in danger, right?
Mm.
So it actually creates less support, lack of money flow also. So so that's not a good thing. So you
No.
always want to have a mountain behind you, because the mountain is a support or an image of spiritual support. It could be an image of like an angel, or anything that for you is a divine expression of
Mm.
support. It can also be your family, yeah, because your family is supporting you, or your team. But you cannot have water behind you, and you also cannot have water above your headboard, because people sometimes have these beautiful romantic images above the headboard sleeping. And I always say, just imagine the water would be really there. Would you fall asleep? Because it's just like you're drowning. So
Mm.
this is like a drowning energy behind you. It exhausts you also more. So that's why I started like, oh, I have to give her a tip.
Well, it's interesting because I have an app, your app. If I just go back here, this is Marie's app. It's absolutely fantastic, and you put in your date of birth, and then it gives you your energy number, and it's got like a compass in the middle, and you can work out your success and your health and your relationships and your wisdom. And I've already kind of set up a success corner with the book and a variety of different things that we want success with when we're paying it forward, you know, part of the Pay It Forward series and the Women of Contribution movement. But obviously, I failed miserably with the picture behind me. But knowing that now, it all makes perfect sense. Now, I know the app is fantastic. I think it's $4.99. I don't think it's expensive at all. And
Correct.
we
Yes.
use it all the time. We've just moved to Barcelona, so I used it in the rooms. The kids have used it in their rooms, and they love using it. But you've also got a book out, have you not?
Yes, I have. So I have a book out called Transform Your Life. So this is actually with the basic principles that we're using for feng shui. And I talk about the 24 steps, 24 principles that you can use to create success, health, relationships, and wisdom. So I tell you, you know, about the colors that you need to use and where to place things around you. And also, of course, you can work with the app. And so this just came out, and it's already on Kindle and on Amazon in a few weeks. And it's, of course, on my website, marydiamond.com, available.
Because you've got something else, and I have seen it, but it was kind of at the start of my journey of kind of discovering about you. Haven't you not got a free energy report that people can get from the website
Yes.
as well?
So, so you can go to marydiamond.com and you can fill in your birthday and you get your free energy report. And together with the app and with the book, that's actually a really good basic to
Mm.
start working with your feng shui. But the energy report already talks about what to place in your personal directions. So together with the app, because the app is a compass, so it makes it easier to look around.
Yeah.
And then you will start understanding what is your energy number.
Mm.
So, for example, your energy number is 5, Kezia. It's the
Yes.
same as me. So we love to connect. Yeah. So connecting and also working with women is actually one of your strongest points, right? So you definitely do that for women, and collaborating with women. So that is actually, you know, your energy number, your energy archetype. And based on that, you can follow the energy report and see the steps, and you also get transformation videos and some more support of me through connecting with the website. So that is definitely a great start for you.
And I know I saw you at the Best You Expo, and you'd pulled a lady on stage, and you were doing something with her body. You were doing something with her arm. So they were putting her arm out, and then you were asking questions and trying to pull down on her arm. Can you just explain a little bit about how that works and why that's so important?
Yeah. So what I use for showing how the body reacts to the energy of your environment, I use kinesiology, or what they call muscle testing. So because what I have seen, if people are supporting their success directions based on their birthday, because everything works with their birthday, your brainwave will go into alpha brainwaves, more relaxed, more concentrated, more joyful, more happiness, when you are activating your success directions, plus if you face them. Yeah. So I was showing that if they would face that direction, how strong their body reacts. And so we did this muscle testing. So when they think about something and something is positive, they can resist my arm. When something is negative, they cannot resist my pressure. So I was showing that on stage, and when people come to classes of mine, they learn how to do this, because it's really interesting. If you would now look at I'm not in your place right now, but if you would, I would have been there, and we would have tested out your sea landscape behind you, and I would ask you how you should support, your arm would have become weak. And when you're weak, it means you're in beta brainwaves. And beta brainwaves always means you're not concentrated, you're a little bit more depressed, it's more chaotic, it's more difficult to have good energy. So we can actually test the body to check how the environment is. So when people study Feng Shui with me, we always integrate that, because it's not just I want them to say, oh, I'm going to play something. I want them to feel it. I want their body to feel the difference it makes, in if they place something in that color, or if they hang something up there, they will definitely see the difference. And one of the first things I always show to people is you always want to see the door. So like where you're sitting right now, I think you see the incoming door. And I hope I'm correct.
Yeah.
Kezia? Okay. So once people do that, their brainwave will go into alpha brainwave. So whenever you're sitting to have a meeting with somebody, always make sure you see the door. If it's in a lobby, a conference room, a hotel, dinner, your sofa, your desk, always make sure you see the people coming in. I know most people love to watch out to the window, but I always say people don't come through the window. People that come through the window take money away. So that's not good. And I actually show that with muscle testing. If people are with their back to the door, I push on the finger, and literally there's no energy. It's like their body cannot resist the energy. So the body is very weak. So when we are sitting towards the door and I would push up the arm, they actually can resist me. And because that means the body say, I'm really strong, I'm happy. And so if you know that Feng Shui and everything with the environment is actually affecting your law of attraction for 33.3%. Wow. And that's one of the reasons why people have sometimes no success with The Secret. You have to understand, even the creator of The Secret had no success with The Secret before they used my work. Yeah. So some of the top people in The Secret, like Jack Canfield, John Gray, Bob Proctor, these people are my clients, and I changed them, and they created the law of attraction in their home, and then their lives just went in a much easier way. I was just talking to Bob Proctor a few weeks ago, and I told him where to place a fountain in his garden. And so each time I see him, he's always like, Marie, my fountain is still working, So, and I'm like, yes, and he said, I don't take it off because it brought me good luck, So, but that's the whole point. Your environment affects your subconscious mind. So whatever is around you, you don't even think about, but it's like 24 hours a day, the image that is there, the color that is there, the positioning of your desk, it influences your body, your mind, your spirit, your feelings and also your actions. So I know everybody has that experience. You come into a home or in a place and you're saying, oh, I love this here. And then there are other places you're like, oh, I don't like it. I need to get out of it. Well, you don't know what it is, but it's the energy of that place. Now, what if you can use that energy in such a way it's beneficial for you, right? So that is actually what Feng Shui is about. It's not this, ancient Chinese thing. I mean, it is actually the ancient Chinese understood the energy of the environment, like, people are working with the energy of the mind, or the psychology of the psyche of the mind. So they kind of checked out how that worked. And I used the ancient systems, but I kind of made it connected in with the brainwaves, with the quantum physics. And so I use that to understand how the law of attraction is working at your home. And most people are missing out on that 1/3 of good luck that, they're saying, well, the secret doesn't work really for me. Well, it does, but it's blocked because your home is thinking different than you are.
Yeah. And that's so important, because I think when, like I say, the secret was my first step into self-development, and it was so excited, about, putting it into action, but actually there are other bits of the secret. So if somebody is sitting here listening right now, they know that they need to be in, I think you call it the queen position. So they're looking at the doors so they can see the doors and people coming in. If they're in business, what are the maybe 1 or 2 tips would you recommend they do, apart from getting the app and then looking at, facing their success direction, etc.?
Well, if they're in business, I would definitely ask them to check out the success direction. So they would use the app, and so they would put in their energy number, and then they would see, based on the compass that shows up, they will see holding the compass, like the app in the phone in their hands, in the middle of the office. They would see where is their success direction. Whatever is there needs to be about your success. So it needs about your logo of your company, your business services, your flyers, your business cards, products you have that you're working on should be in your success direction. You also have a relationship direction, so you can take again the app, sit in the stand or stand in the center of the business area you're working in, and look where is your relationship direction. And for everyone that is different. For you, it's west, for me too, but it can for somebody else being north or east, right? And so they look what is there, and I always say declutter that area first. You cannot have anything that is telling the wrong message. Definitely no chaos. And then you can put pictures up of, the area you want to do business. Like for me, there's always a globe because I'm a global teacher. So I have clients in 190 countries. So I have the globe up there. I have a team picture up there. I have a family picture up there. People that some of my top clients that I have, I put them up there. So I kind of allow my home or my office to be like a 3-dimensional vision board. So just imagine you would be standing on Times Square of like Piccadilly Circus, right? They have all this advertising coming to you. Well, just imagine your space should be an advertising for your business. And so whatever is around you, you're affected by it nonstop, 24 hours a day. So that is something I definitely would let them think about. And also when you walk into your home, like what is the first thing you see? So the first thing you see, you don't want to have shoes or coats hanging out. You want to have something that uplifts you, a family picture. In a business, it should be a logo. It cannot be chaos. I mean, when you come in, you have to have a feeling of welcoming, not just for the clients. And you can say, well, there's always only online clients. I mean, my home, there's no client that comes in here, right? Still, I keep it very private, but still it's welcoming for everybody that people come in like, oh, I feel good here, right? So I would definitely suggest that. Also make sure there's a nice smell, in the home. You know, vanilla for a home is very good because it always creates a lot of warm feelings for everyone. In a business, you can work with lavender, or you know, pine is also, that gives a lot of good concentration for the mind. So you can actually work with many things, and of course you can just read more information in the book, you know, transform your life, or get the free energy report, and you already can start going and make huge differences. And within 9 days to 9 weeks, people really see a shift. It goes really quickly. So it's not like you have to wait months and months. It's like suddenly opportunities open up, or things that have been on hold, you know, suddenly it opens up, or new clients will come in. But also you need to declutter. You need to let go of stuff. So out of your cabinets, you know, your desk has to be organized. You know, let go of old pictures, old files on your computer. You need to create space for new things to come to you. So that's definitely a last tip I want to give.
Now, obviously, people know from listening to you today that the app is essential, and like I say, it's so easy that my children do their rooms with the app. You've got your book, Transform Your Life. If somebody wants to see you in person, have you got any seminars or workshops coming up that people can come and visit and actually meet you in person?
Yes, of course. They can go to marydiamond.com. There's an event page, you know, on the right side, so they can see me there. There are upcoming events in the UK in the coming months. There are in America. There are in other places in the world. So, and not just me, there's also some people that are teaching my work, and there are also online programs. So the moment they have signed up for the energy report, they also will receive definitely my newsletter. But they can check out what is coming in, because I don't know when they will see the video, so I'm not going to give a specific date.
No, that's fine.
But there's always you know, wonderful things happening, and I'm always traveling the world to support each other,
Yeah.
to support all of you.
Well, all I can say is I know what a difference it's having on my life, having, got my success corner, and things are starting to move in a direction that's really exciting. I can start to see things opening up. So from my heart to yours, thank you so much for doing what it is that you do and sharing so generously with everybody. Like I said at the very beginning, you are most definitely a true woman of contribution. And I just thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to jump online and tell everybody how they can improve their lives and change their lives and actually start to work with the environments that they've got. So thank you so much, Marie, for your time.
Thank you so much, Kezia, and thank you for doing what you're doing, and bringing so much change and contribution to the world and to the women out there. So thank you for doing that too.
Wonderful. Well, have a lovely night, and I'll speak to you soon.